Hello and welcome to Parently, where we tap into the unique experiences and perspectives of parents to celebrate the joys and honor the challenges of child rearing. With new interviews each week, this is a podcast for moms and dads seeking an empowering community and a little levity. Now here's your host, Kelsey Higgins.
Hello and welcome to Parently. Today's guest is Molly Steffen. Molly, thanks for coming on Parently.
Thank you for having me.
I had to twist your arm a little bit to get you on.
Just a little bit. And then even then I almost backed out today. But
so sketchy. So sketchy. What excuse would you have used?
There were a few. One would have been like, oh my God, it's today. I thought it was next week.
You're terrible.
That one has been used before. But no, I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you on. There's a lot of specific topics that I wanted to talk to you about. But before I do that, tell the listeners a little bit about you, where you're from, your family, friends, any hobbies, career. Kind of give an overview.
You know, my current elevator speech is a little bit, I'm a mom of 4 neurospicy kiddos.
Neurospicy. Did you make that up or is that something you found? Because you're the only person I've heard say that.
Yeah, that's fair. So neurodiverse is like the in the mainstream.
Yep.
And the Steffens just add a little bit of extra spice to the diversity.
I see.
So I can't say that I probably didn't hear it somewhere, but it's the perfect description of
your family.
Of our family.
Okay. Wonderful.
So, 4 kids, happily married for a few of the 19 years with my husband.
That
was
pretty
a new
good.
joke. Thanks.
I like that one.
Thanks. Teddy asked us, we had our anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
And he's like, well, how long have you guys been married? 19 years, Teddy. How many of those were happy?
Did he really?
Yeah, he's a hoot. So,
what did you say?
Were
you like
Dan was so quick. He's like 5.
Oh, he's been thinking about this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I met my husband in grad school. I've worked in healthcare. I've been most of my career in leadership. And the last 3 years have been super goofy. I stopped working for a year. I took a severance. And then I went, and I'm now a special ed para at our local high school. And it's so cool.
Healthcare leadership to special ed para.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because that is a big leap.
Yeah.
Let's start there. What made you decide to leave the healthcare space?
You know, there were a few different reasons, and I would say I don't live my life in a very methodical, in 5 years I will be here. I'm going to take these steps. Mm-hmm. So this is all more happenstance, I would say, for how it occurred.
Okay.
We were just finishing up the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I had, over the last couple of years in my role, I had moved from operations, so more like day-to-day comings and goings. And then that fed, a little bit into where is primary care going to be in the next 3 to 5 years? And so I would also help sort of guide those conversations. I was asked to start a new team within the company I worked for. And I learned a ton about both myself and how I can advocate for myself, but really it pulls a ton of my energy. And I lost a lot of confidence in trying this whole new thing out within a very safe organization, but then it became a little bit unsafe. So, and I say unsafe for me as a leader, I like to, and I need to feel very comfortable. I don't see hierarchy. And when we got to a point where I was like an internal consulting team I was building. It wasn't really the like flavor of the month anymore.
Okay.
Appropriately so. The pandemic took a ton of time and energy. Healthcare in and of itself was really breaking from a foundation perspective. And we were working with a leadership team that was trying to pivot. And there was certain decisions that became really hard for me to stand up in front of my team and say, I'm behind this.
Sure.
Or I might not agree with it, but I understand why. And so I couldn't do that as often. And as a leader, that's a huge value to me, is the integrity and honesty. And so I would say, coupled with the huge pandemic, an incredible workload for the last couple of years, and my love for the job wasn't there anymore. And then the third reason is we had 4 kids that really needed more time and attention.
Were you scared to make that change?
I had been ready for years.
Really? Was Dan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget, he said to me once, like probably 5-10 years ago, he's like, well, Molly, I want to retire early someday too. Now, you could question, like, is being a stay-at-home mom really considered early retirement?
I would beg to differ.
So, and I mean, he and we've talked about this a lot, but then it's probably, maybe the couple years of marriage that have been really hard. We met in grad school, and so he has always known me as a healthcare leader.
Sure.
In addition to his wife. And we worked together probably 80% of the time in our careers. So our relationship was really nurtured, I would say, through our careers.
It was a big component.
Huge.
What about your self-identity? Did you wrap up your identity in your career at all?
Absolutely.
I think that would be very difficult.
I mean, so my parents, I was raised in a pretty traditional household. My mom stayed home. She had 4 kids. My dad worked. And 3 sisters, 1 boy. All of us have a degree past college. And my grandmother once said it was never a question of if you're going to college. It's always been where. And so there's always like this ingrained expectation.
Sure, yeah.
And you could see the proudness of my dad because of our accomplishments and our promotions. And there were a few times, actually, not many, but a few times I made the decision to go from a leadership role to like an individual contributor. I was making less money. And from the outside, my dad was like, I don't understand why you would do this, Molly. So absolutely, it was so wrapped up to how my family saw me, both immediate, my family that raised me. And that's where your friends are.
Yeah.
You're with them 10 to 12 hours a day.
Totally.
So, yep, I had been thinking about it for a really long time, and I never quite felt I'd ever be able to do it because it was so much of who I was.
What about the financial component of it? Did that freak you out?
No.
Okay. Same question for Dan. Did that freak Dan out?
It does every single moment of every single day.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes.
It's a big decision. There's a lot of
huge.
different pieces.
It's huge. And I think he would think that it'd be fair to assume he might think that I am flippant with it. And I don't think I'm flippant. I just think the more money you make, the more money you spend.
Sure.
And you get farther and further from what you actually need. And in my heart, I believe time with my kids is so much more than a boat or a jet ski or a cabin or any, and we are so lucky. We live a very nice life. I'm very proud that we worked really hard in the beginning or for the first 20 years. And yeah, it's fucking scary, but
here you are.
oh, can I swear I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the listeners probably love a little sailor mouth here and there. So that year, it was a year off with your kids. How did that go? How was that year?
It was terrible.
Not what I was expecting you to say.
It was not what I was expecting at all.
Okay.
I had dreams that I was going to wake them up and make a healthy smoothie breakfast every day.
Sure.
I would go volunteer at their schools.
Of course.
I'd go volunteer. I volunteer at the Minneapolis Crisis Nursery.
Oh, yeah.
So I had all of these, and then we were going to do a healthy dinner, and then we were going to play games every night. And I had this euphoric, I will have all of this time to do all of that. And I think the first couple of months, I checked my email about 40 times an hour, and I couldn't believe that no one was emailing me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like, is it broken? What happened?
Why did you still have an email? Your work email?
Not my work. No, my Gmail.
Oh, your personal email.
My personal email. And I was like, wait. I mean, talk about self-validation, right?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
The number of emails you got was oh my gosh, you must be really important. So I had to undo a ton of it was a lot of mental work that I was not anticipating at all. There was a lot of catch-up work to do with the kids and doctor's appointments or, you peel back that layer, you have a little bit more time, you're like, holy crap. I think we all were holding in a lot just to keep going every day.
Sure.
So some of that came pouring out. I would hyper clean and organize because that really filled my bucket.
I mean, that sounds great.
Yeah. And then it's really weird because then the other 5 people that lived in my home, well, they never acknowledged it, right? Wow,
Rude.
You did a really good job on that closet today,
So
Molly.
you weren't getting that validation.
Labels, spot on.
Mom, those labels. Wow.
And actually, just the opposite. They were so pissed at me because I reorganized the kitchen. I reorganized.
Oh, and they couldn't find the
bedrooms.
spoons.
They couldn't find anything, and I was moving their cheese.
Sure.
So it was a really hard year. I went on a lot of walks. I did a ton of just sort of internal acknowledgement of pacing, if that makes sense. I remember there was one day I was depressed. It wasn't good for that year. And there were definite highlights. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But everyone would leave for school, and I would literally be like, oh my God, the house is super quiet. And then I'd well, I worked for a long, long time. I should probably just go take a nap. I earned a nap. And of course, I couldn't nap. And there was one day, it was months into it, and it was the first day, I think, in my life, maybe since grad school, that I just laid on the couch and watched Netflix. I was watching Friday Night Lights because I had never watched it.
Neither have I.
Oh my God. Tim Riggins.
Okay.
It's worth it. So, and I felt so guilty.
Yeah. Yep.
And I called my mom and I was like, oh, because I needed her validation.
That it was okay.
It was okay. And she was like, well, just don't make a habit of it.
That's so your mom?
So my mom. But it was so eye-opening. It was like, I've never been encouraged, and I think most women can agree with this, encouraged, supported to say, slow the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you have any regrets? Do you regret taking that time?
No. Oh, God, no.
No.
No. I don't think I'd be in the same position I would be. I think I should have taken it a lot sooner. I think whether we can all admit it now, within the six of us, I think we all needed it.
Mm.
And if I had taken it earlier, maybe it wouldn't have been so bumpy.
Intense.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to get into education and such a different career?
Few things. I felt really burnt out by leadership.
Okay.
And I loved it. And I thought I was okay at it. But I had a really tough time not taking it home. So people who reported to me, I didn't have the boundary of not taking everything that they needed on, because again, that was my
style.
It was my style. It was my gift.
Yeah.
But unmanaged, right? It became really, really heavy or hard. And then I'd come home and my kids needed that of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was tired of leadership. The small world of healthcare was going through a ton of stuff. So I didn't know where I fit within that. Mm-hmm. But my husband lost his job right at the end of my year. And we knew we were comfortable enough to find, the right next job. We had time, but we didn't have health care, or we didn't want to pay COBRA for as long as we might have needed to. And so I knew, I was like, well, I can go up the road. Our school system has really good insurance. My ninth grader is really struggling. It'd be sort of cool to see this from the inside out, see what's really happening. And I love kids. I love learning. It's been a huge part of how I do life, is I need to see it from the inside out and experience it. And I have a lot of blind faith of, we'll figure this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I lose money when I work as a special ed para.
Please tell me more. What do you mean?
Like, I take home nothing. I'm okay with it. Dan is not.
Like, are you saying like the gas to get there?
Oh my God! Yes, yes. So I paid my number 2 like $20 every morning to help the siblings get on the bus, because I started before. I'd stop for a Starbucks because why not?
Sure. Okay, so you're up at $25 already. You haven't even gotten to work.
Haven't even gotten to work.
Okay.
And then I think the take-home pay every day is like $70. I mean, it's not right, like, but it's so fun. And I've learned so much, and these kids, it's been really eye-opening.
So did you need, like, can anyone do that? Like, did you need some certification or something?
I took like a 2-hour, more like patient care, PCA type certification online, but they gave that to me afterwards. Arguably, you could and should maybe have a little bit more rigor. Anyone can do it, and I mean, I highly recommend it. It's so eye-opening.
That's really cool.
And then you get the summers off.
What does your typical day look like?
So I get to school, and first hour I have digital photography.
Okay, with one of your students?
With one of my students.
Do you have one student or do you have multiple?
It depends. So every
Okay.
hour, I would say 50% of my day, I'm in a general ed class.
Okay.
And I have one student. And the students I support have the highest needs from an emotional behavioral perspective that a public school system level 3 can accommodate.
I see. So you're working with some tough kids.
Yeah. So we typically have them for a few classes each day. So 50% is in gen ed, and we're immersing them into a traditional classroom. I will pull them out, maybe do some one-on-one reading support, and then 50% of the day is in the special ed classrooms where maybe the gen ed isn't the right place, and so we do history, or social emotional learning is, pretty core concept in special ed. Layman's terms, I'm an emotional support human fidget and a mule.
Very important.
Yes. Quite proud of my my skills.
Listen, there are that it is a special kind of person that can do that.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
So I know you said you don't think about your life in terms of plans and planning things out long term, blah blah blah. But what is next? Do you feel really content here? Do you want to explore other things? And also, I need to go back to the financial piece.
Yeah.
You're not making a lot of money. No. You have health insurance, but how are you guys making ends meet?
I mean, you need to ask Dan that question.
Okay.
And ironically, I just need to say for the viewers, financial econ was my degree in college. I can do that kind of stuff, but after almost 20 years of marriage, you fall into these he does some parts, I do some parts.
I see.
Dan does the finances.
Okay.
That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I would say most days right now, I would love to get my special ed teaching license.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Because I would
cool.
do fairly similar work and get paid a lot more.
Okay.
And then last night we had Friendsgiving, and there was a physician there, and it was I just got super excited to talk healthcare and talk shop. And Dan's looking at me across the table, and he's like, I thought we weren't going to go back into healthcare. I was I don't know.
Maybe.
It was weird. It's the first time in a couple of years that I felt excited about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because they're so different. They're very different types of careers.
Yeah, but they're all people oriented, right? So and I think that's the biggest thing for the shift for me. Anything I do next is going to be in concert with what my kids need. And that's always been my internal metric.
Sure.
Are my kids happy? Is my marriage healthy? Okay. I love my job. This keeps going. And then I think I referenced earlier when I went into an individual contributor and a few people in my life whose opinions really matter to me. were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I have 3 kids now.
Sure.
I can't be responsible for the alarms going off at the clinic at midnight and not knowing when my day is going to end because of an employee relations issue. Mm-hmm. And both Dan and I, like I said, were in very similar roles. And it became a bit of a pissing contest between us, even on like Saturdays. Well, I have work to do in the office. Well, I have work to do in the office. And Saturdays is our time with our kids. And we just, it became like, oof, this isn't how I want to do this. It's how some people want to do it, and that's awesome for them. It wasn't in our value system. So,
is it fair to say that your priorities shifted or changed, or do you think that work was never that top priority for you, that you're...
I think they shifted.
They shifted.
Yeah. I loved my job. Mm-hmm. And I sort of loved, I was very motivated internally by like showing up, doing some tough work at home, getting the kids. Like, I felt a lot of swagger with that, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it was like, that wasn't there anymore, and it wasn't worth pushing through it. Or I'll say it this way, you can hire out everything, right? Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
Someone does your grocery shopping,
Sure.
someone does your cleaning, someone does, they even have like AI to do appointments.
Yeah.
For your personal assistant, all of that. And we did all of that for a while. But then that wasn't necessarily bringing us more joy. Mm. And so we just sort of kept putting Band-Aids until we didn't want to anymore, or we couldn't, or I mentally couldn't.
Mm-hmm. I want to spend a few minutes on your kids to wrap up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What, if someone's listening to this and they're not familiar with Neurospicy, neurodivergent, can you explain a little bit about what that means and how that looks in your kids?
Yeah. So their brains are wired differently. And I apologize. Someone might listen to this and think like, oh gosh, what's wrong? This is my Molly's version of being a mom in this space. Their brains are wired differently. So there are a few really core memories I had of being a mom, and looking back being like, oh my God, I wish I would have known what we were dealing with. Mm. It presents as naughty behavior, and really they're in full-blown meltdown burnout because they've had to mask, and we force them to go, hey, we're going to go on this family vacation. We're going to stay in the house with all of these family. And I thought, well, that's just what we do. And there's a time we were coming home, driving home from a family vacation, and one of my kids was so obsessed with which seat she could have in the car. And we ended up having to stop because everyone then was blowing up, and it was like over a seat in the car. It was her only way to control when she internally felt so out of control, and for days, because she was so overly stimulated, she was crawling out of her body.
And that's the one thing that she had a say over.
Yep. So they experience the world different. They think in a totally different path, I would say, or in a totally different way that makes it really hard to function in a traditional world. And so then they're offset, and then they try to work really hard to make it work and seem normal, but it only further deregulates them. So in my family, we have ADHD. We have 2 of my kids have been diagnosed with autism. There is a term called twice exceptional,
Okay.
which means that they are on both ends of the spectrum. So they're highly intelligent and they bring learning disabilities also to the table.
Interesting.
And the research will tell you they're some of the hardest kids to educate, especially mainstream, because they have this need to be fully satisfied. They catch on things quickly, but then they might also be dyslexic or have dysgraphia,
Which is,
inability to write,
okay.
or dyslexia, the inability to read in a traditional sense. And so when all of that is swimming around in a brain and we keep putting computers in front of these kids and we're like, click here, click here, click here, and
Sure.
they get so overwhelmed. So I'm on a tangent, but that I would say is just when the brains are wired different, and they have different learning needs, different environmental needs, and they experience everyday things in a really different way.
Is it, I'm going to ask a question. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to come off. Is it interesting or strange or unusual that all 4 of your children?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I don't think so, because a lot of it is genetic.
Okay.
And obviously some of it is learned behavior, right? That like just in your family unit, there's exposure to, or, but no, I don't think, I know ADHD runs in both sides of my husband's family, my family. My husband's cousin's son is severely autistic. Just like anxiety or addiction, they're a part of our genetics.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that unique. What I thought you were going to say, though, is ask me the question along the lines of, it's still controversial in the sense of, I think we're really behind in research, especially in teenage girls.
Oh.
And how ADHD presents and how autism presents. And so we have a small examples of like, oh, that must mean you lined all your cars up when you were little and you don't talk. Well, neither of my kids have autism that presents in that way.
Sure.
So that's, I think it's more unique to understand all the different presentations within my family and how it shows up very differently.
Part of me also wonders if all 4 of your children have diagnoses because you're receptive to that and familiar with that and willing to figure out the root cause of behavior and needs, which could perhaps be a part of the puzzle as well.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, Molly, you've been a fabulous guest.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Is there anything you wanted to share with the listeners before we sign off?
There's one other thing I didn't bring to the table when I was sort of more introducing myself. I think they should know that I'm a champion.
Oh my God, shut up. I know exactly what you're going to say. You are terrible.
Champion.
Where's that trophy right now? Do you know? Because I do. It's in the room right behind me. That's where the champion. Okay.
Kelsey Steele.
We have to explain. Molly and I compete, along with many others, in an annual cookie decorating, Christmas cookie decorating contest. I am the champion. I've had the trophy for the last year. Every year we go back, someone else tries to win the trophy. This was my first year winning it. I think you won one year. there's a collection of other folks.
Math is hard, isn't it, Kelsey?
And if you listen to this episode thinking, wow, that woman is very empathetic and kind and seems like a really great gal, you've never seen her at a cookie decorating contest. And I think you just got a little piece of that. Mm-hmm. But the competitive nature in you, maybe that's what makes you such a great mom and trying to get the best for your kids, huh?
Maybe.
So we'll share the results. The competition is happening 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks. Yeah. We've been practicing. I don't know if you saw our Halloween cookies.
It must be like really sad to be so scared of losing that you have to practice.
It's called refinement.
Well, we'll see if if that helps you this year. That is hilarious. Of course you brought that up. You're insane. You're bizarre.
So proud of it. I'm such a winner.
And to all of the listeners, thank you for joining as well. I invite you to tune in again next week for another insightful conversation. And if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. See you next time.